Well, hey everyone, how y'all doing? Well, you know, recently one of my nephews started driving for DoorDash, and of course, us aunties, and I do mean we are his literal aunties, told him that we didn't think it was a good idea. So, they just came to the point that he just stopped talking to us about it. But you know me, I'm nosy, oh, I'm sorry, research, you know. So I looked into it a little bit, and there is a whole section of YouTube that does video. Oh, what the hell is that? Oh, it's a bird. Okay, sorry. A whole section of YouTube that does videos about DoorDash, and these are the actual dashers, and they explain to you how DoorDash works and the tricks and tips and yada yada yada. But I learned some things I didn't know, and if you're in my age group, you probably don't do a lot of delivery services other than Amazon. So let's talk about this a little bit. Okay, so of course, we told him the usual things. The wear and tear on your car, the gas you're going to spend, and it's not really a substitute for a quote unquote 9 to 5, especially when you have an apartment, a car, and credit card bills, because he does have all those things. He walked away from his job. So, we're kind of hoping that he kind of figures out that this might not be the answer, and it might be better to try to find another quote unquote 9 to 5. But I understand, the lure or the allure behind DoorDashing and things like that, because they really push the you are an independent contractor side of it, and you can make your own hours. I mean, you have the freedom to decide if you want to work or you don't want to work. And let me tell you something, that is very enticing. I mean, even myself, as a former business owner, that was nice. But what actually happened was you work more than you don't work, because as your business grows and you start to make more money and you purchase more things, all of a sudden it's not really about I can work if I want to or not work if I want to. You actually get to the point where you need to work. The best thing you can do is, like, I took Fridays off. For me, that was the highlight of owning my own business. I could take Fridays off. Or if I wanted to, do a little trip, I could reschedule everybody, give them all notice, and take my little trip without having to, put in vacation time and or worry, do I have enough time to cover it? So, that little bit of freedom is very enticing. But I don't care what nobody say, it's still not a real job. Okay? It's just not when you have actual, big person bills. So some of the things I learned while I was watching the videos on YouTube is that, and full disclosure, I have never ordered from DoorDash. Even when I had a taste for a Jersey Mike's sub and didn't feel like going across town to get it, once I found out, what it was going to cost, what the service fee was, and of course, you should tip. I mean, I felt like it was going to cost me half of what the actual sub cost in additional fees and things. And I'm thinking, well, as bad as I want that sub, how about I just wait until tomorrow and pick it up myself? So no, I've never, used DoorDash. The only delivery service I have used is, of course, Amazon and White's Grocery Store. And I'll be honest with you, I use them for the stuff that I really don't want to drag up my steps. Every 2.5 months, I order 4 cases of water. And any heavy items that I also need. I don't order all of my groceries from Weis because one, they cost too much, and two, I like to pick out my own stuff. But certain things, and it's the same thing all the time, well then yeah, I'm happy to pay their $9 service charge and their suggested tip. Now, the first time I did this, I felt so bad. I mean, the first time they delivered the water and stuff to me, I hid behind the door, okay? Because I felt so bad that the young person had to carry all that water up the steps. But then I got to thinking about it. I work at Amazon. And yeah, there are times when I have to lift 40-pound bags of dog food. But that's my choice. So I have to assume, just like I'm in it knowing what the deal is, I'm assuming they know what the deal is too, and plus they're younger than me. So I realized I should not feel guilty. And so what I started doing after that was, when they came, I opened the door. And then I handed him a $5 bill on top of the $5 tip I put on the app, because I absolutely appreciate the service. I absolutely appreciate the service. And it was, I mean, do you know how long 4 cases of water was sitting in my truck before I finally got it up the steps? I mean, sheesh, seasons change. If I'm only carrying 6 or 8 bottles of water in the bag up at a time, because I can't lift a full case of water with 40 bottles of water in it. But I've never felt that way about a steak and cheese sub. Or well, I have ordered pizza. Well, not recently, but you know, in my age group, we have all ordered pizza and we've all ordered Chinese food, because Chinese food was always free delivery as long as you lived in a certain range. And if you lived out the range, they charged you $2. And then when they showed up, you hand them another $2 and it's all good. But as far as, you know, me needing something from Chipotle so bad that I'm willing to pay almost twice what the food cost in fees and tips, well, you know, I cook at home. And if I need something that bad, or desire or crave something that bad, I suck it up that day and pick it up on my way home from work the next day, or I pick it up while I'm out running errands. And so here's the thing. The biggest hoopla about DoorDash on YouTube today is no tip, no trip, because a lot of people don't tip. And also, there are a lot of orders for like $2. It's not an order that anybody, in my personal opinion, should take. But by the same token, you can't make videos that bash the customers that you depend on. You understand what I'm saying? So some of those videos have been off the hook, and people get, they don't call it fired, deactivated from DoorDash. Not because they had a YouTube channel, and not because, you know, they talked about DoorDash, but basically it's when they start disrespecting the customers of DoorDash that DoorDash steps in and starts to demonetize people. I'm sure a lot of you remember when I was making a bunch of Amazon videos, and there were people who just thought I should get fired because I talked about Amazon. But I was always fair in my assessments, and I was always balanced. If I had a complaint about something, then at least I offered the suggestion. And you know, as far as being honest about how things are done, I did my best to do that. So I can understand why DoorDash is starting to deactivate people who are just basically trashing the company, but more importantly, trashing the customers because they don't tip. Now, you know, I own a cleaning service, and my daughter owns a bar service. Tips are nice, But in my business, I got tipped once a year at Christmas time. And it was usually the amount of what I was charging them throughout the year to do their home. But if I didn't get one, I wasn't really mad. I mean, it would have been nice, but I wasn't mad because the rate I charged them was what I wanted and they agreed to pay. So this is how I see DoorDash. If you don't want to take a $2 trip, then don't take it. DoorDash is now informing customers that non-tip orders will probably get slower service. Because why should you? You're going to lose money. You know, at some point, DoorDash is going to realize that they may have to put a minimum of how much people order before they can have delivery. And I think that's fair. I think that would be fair to the DoorDasher. And even myself, I mean, even though I don't order it, but if they told me you have to order $10 worth, okay, I would order $10 worth. You know? Now, I do know that DoorDash does give them a base pay, and I think it varies anywhere from what, $2.50 to $3.50, something like that. And then whatever the customer gives them as a tip. The truth of the matter is tips are not guaranteed. They are a perk. If you don't want to take an order that's just $2 and the customer only tipped you $1, then don't take it. But you can't trash the very people that you're actually earning your living from. Now, someone had said in one of those YouTube things that they thought it was a bunch of boomers who saw some viral TikToks about people complaining about, you know, customers being cheap, and they figured DoorDash's lines got flooded by people my age because we didn't think it was right. Now, here's my opinion. I don't think it's right either, but, you know, ain't got nothing to do with me. So, you know, I'm not calling nobody. But by the same token, a lot of people in my generation, we do math. And the math ain't mathing to order your food from DoorDash. Maybe special occasions. That's just me. In this day and time, I think that people really need to be very careful about what they say about their customers. Because we are in a bit of a recession. Everybody's saying that the DoorDash orders have declined in the last year. Well, you know, when we had a pandemic, nobody left their house. As people are gradually leaving their house, they just pick up their own stuff. Especially in my age group, you know. But y'all need to be real careful. Because even though when I get my water delivered, I mean, he actually gets a $10 tip, but that's because he worked his ass off, okay? He carried 4 cases of water up my steps, not to mention 2 shopping bags. He worked his ass off. I mean, I don't mean no harm, but how hard was it for you to run into Papa John's and pick up a pizza and throw it in the car and bring it to my house? And since I feel that way, I probably will never order DoorDash. And so you have to understand, the people you're bashing, at least they do order. At least that means you keep a job. But, you know, people like me sitting on the sideline going, nope. Nope. Just nope. So that's my thing about DoorDash. I think that the fact that there is a bunch of people who are ordering it and pay the fees, maybe they're not giving you the tip you'd like to have. Maybe they're not tipping you at all. But it sounds to me the real problem is you feel like you're not making enough money. But that's not the customer's fault. So either you all need to get with DoorDash to up your base pay, or you need to find a job that pays you a base pay that you don't have to ruin your car with, you don't have to put a bunch of gas in, and you can get a little health insurance, and you don't have to pay all those taxes at the end of the year. So that's my take on DoorDash. I'm pretty sure I've offended somebody, but hey, what's new? Leave your comments in the comments section. Take care, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.